What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the OGD. This is episode 4, back again with another family perspective. Let's just go around as per usual and talk about how our weeks have been going so far.
I feel like
All
this
right.
week it was pretty quiet on my part. Just finished setting up my iPhone, make sure all the apps and stuff were transferred over okay. I set up my 3D printer, but I have yet to actually print something. That setup took a little bit longer. I had to move it downstairs because the what's it called? The resin is supposed to be like in a sort of ventilated area, so I want to just keep that away from where I sleep in case that stuff lingers in the air. And then that's pretty much it for my week.
Do you have any ideas of what you want to go after in terms of what you want to make on the 3D printer, or is it kind of just you're gonna come up with ideas as you go along?
Now I know for the first two things, I might have mentioned this last week. I want to get an iPhone stand for the pop socket, so that has like a little U thing that holds it, and that might be just a little simpler than sort of usual stand. And I want like because right now, or you can't see it because I'm using my iPhone as my webcam. It's just sitting on a book, leaning against my computer monitor. So I want to switch that out with something more proper.
There you go. Yeah, and the other thing was a GameCube controller, right?
Yeah, a joystick for that because the joystick is sort of rubbing thin. And that's pretty
Gotcha.
much it.
Wow, those are really cool projects. You already have the pop socket?
Yeah, I have the 3D model, but I'm not sure what I need to do yet to print it. So it's like in the right file type, so I think I'm good to go, but I want to double check that before I actually start.
Did the resin that you have come with the printer when you purchased it?
No, for some reason it came separately. I had to order my own, or my uncle had to order some for me.
That's so cool, dude, that you have one of those.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna use it for after those two projects.
Just make random stuff. I don't know, just get good with it. I mean, that's sick to have a 3D
Just get
printer.
good with it.
Yeah. I think like even most high schools. I think my old high school I think had one. I think, or they have a couple now. But yeah, even some schools came and get their hands on a 3D printer. So the fact that you even have one is pretty sick. So definitely, just mess around with it and just try to make some stuff and just get good at getting accurate with it. But I think that's a good thing to keep yourself busy with during quarantine.
hmm Yeah, I think my high school also had a 3D printer, or at least a 3D printing club. So the students might have had their own individual ones. I'm not sure if the school sponsored it in some way. But yeah, I think long term with this project, I want like at some point like one remix someone else's like 3D model, maybe like combine two like things other people made into and make something useful. And then I also sort of just want to get familiar with 3D work and using Blender. That's like one of the big free open software 3D programs.
Nice.
Blender. That's that sounds familiar to me. That's really cool.
Yeah, you might have heard it from either 3D modeling or animation too. It's used for those two things.
Is there a pretty big scene in terms of 3D printing and the communities out there that kind of share projects and share what they create?
Yeah, right now I actually have the 3D model for the pop socket stand. I got it off this website called Thingiverse, and it's a whole website where everyone shares 3D models. And I mentioned remixing models before. You can take those models, remix it, and cite the people you got those original models from. Yeah, there's a bunch of different things on there. Everything from like art stuff to more practical models.
Wow, that'd be cool if you made a design and it blew up on Blender and everybody was out there printing your creation.
I'm, I don't know if I don't know if models like or 3D models like blow up. I don't think you can go viral on that site. Or I don't know. Maybe there might be
Hey, you
like
can be the
actual big
first.
creators there.
You can be the
Yeah, I
first.
wonder if I wonder if anything started off kind of open source and then developed into more of a marketable item or something that companies started making on a large scale.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if something started off like that before branching off to an actual company or at least a startup.
Hmm. Other than the whole 3D printing thing, I guess how's school coming along? I think you said last time that you just finished midterms, so do you have a while, or at least like a break before your next set of midterms, or is it kind of just
I
full
got I
steam
got
ahead?
next midterms next week.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm gonna
Shout
start
out to
studying for
quarter.
that. Actually, after this.
Sheesh. Shout out to the quarter system grind. That's how it goes.
Hmm.
So hey, if you have midterms next week, you have 2 quarters in the in the springtime, right?
I
For like for most,
have I have
yeah, go ahead.
a fall quarter, winter quarter, spring quarter, and then summer break where you can take summer classes, which
And
so
then
that makes 4 quarters.
and winter and spring quarter are both during spring semester, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy. Huh. Well,
Have,
good luck with that.
have you experienced the quarter system, Jared, or just semesters?
I think it's just been semester system. Luckily, well, not really luckily, but just I think pretty much everything that I've done since high school has been a semester system. And yeah, I don't know. I just know that a lot of my friends who are in quarter system definitely said that it goes a lot faster and just like less time to do stuff. So I don't know. I don't know how well I would have fended off in quarter system. I think I probably would have had a more difficult time just because, you know, I guess as soon as you finish a midterm, you have one like literally 2.5 weeks later. So, in between like semester systems, at least you have a couple of weeks before your next midterm. So that's always a good thing. So, yeah, I'm kind of just like that guy that likes the slow paced stuff, not the super fast paced stuff that kind of just gets condensed into, like half of a semester. So, yeah, I don't know. Kind of glad I did semester system, but who knows what would have happened in the quarter system.
Yeah, I relate to that. The quarter system definitely sounds really rigorous and fast
Yeah,
paced and kind of just always on the ball moving forward.
definitely. Yeah, and also know that like units and credits, I think, is quarter system. I think those also get a little bit weird too. 'Cause I remember I was trying to. I think I took like a summer course or something at a community college, and I think they did quarter conversion credits versus me having units out of semester. I think that's what it was. So I think like the conversion stuff got really weird and janky, but I think that's the only thing I've ever had that was close to being implemented in the quarter system. But yeah, I just know that that whole thing gets really weird too. So I don't know why they do that at schools, but
Yeah, I
I
don't know
guess that
about other schools. It's just like a simple like I don't remember if you divide by 1.5 or multiply by 1.5 just to
yeah.
convert between quarter and semester units.
Do quarter semester students typically graduate faster than semester
No.
based students?
That's a, you. So you know how it's like sort of hard to graduate a semester early. It's a lot
Hmm.
easier to graduate a quarter early, and I actually have one of my roommates. They're leaving quarter early.
Hmm.
How
Interesting.
much time is that exactly? One quarter? Like
So
6 weeks?
that'd be graduating in March instead of June.
Is quarter 8 weeks?
10. Yeah, I think it's 10 weeks.
That's like 5 weeks left. No, semester is like 16, I think, or 15 or 16. So that's no.
16.
Yeah, so cutting that 6 weeks short. Yeah,
Yeah, but then
still.
I'm not sure what exactly the advantage is of graduating early besides not paying that quarter's worth of tuition.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's that, and there's also I don't know, getting out to the work world maybe sooner. I don't know. Some students just decide that they want to finish school early and get out of the school grind. That's
That's
how I
a
was feeling, for sure.
that's a really interesting topic because at the end of the day, 10 weeks doesn't seem like or sound like that long of a time or of a difference. And how many of the schools in California at least run by quarters versus semesters?
All the
It's really
UC,
minimal, isn't it?
except for Berkeley. All the UCs except for
Oh,
Berkeley.
all of them?
Yeah, all of them.
But Berkeley's the only one that's on semesters.
Yep. Berkeley's the only semester system you see, but all the rest are all quarter system. So every single UC is quarter.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I don't know about state schools, but I know that just UCs are definitely quarter system.
Well, I know which UC I want to go to now.
You don't want to try the whole quarter system thing. You just want to go
It
straight
just
to.
sounds it just sounds really aggressive. I mean, it like maybe the opportunity to graduate 10 weeks early is cool, but yeah, it's I mean, you could as you were saying, Lyndon, I mean, you can also graduate a semester early, but it's just more difficult and for what it's worth, it just sounds negligible. The 10 week isn't really that substantial.
Yeah,
I
one
think
one plus side is if you fail a class, it's only one quarter. You just retake it.
That's true. That's so true.
I think
Yeah.
though for semester system, I think summer classes are a lot better for semesters. I think if you want to, if maybe if you don't want to graduate a semester early, you can still also graduate the summer of. So I think a lot of classes overlap for the summer too, which is pretty cool. I know that I took a summer class at Berkeley, and that was like a full 4 credits, and that was condensed to I think even less than half of a semester. So I think it was like a 4 or 5 week course, and we got full credits for it, and they counted. And I know a couple people that also graduated in the summer. You know, instead of one semester early, it was a whole summer early. So it's pretty convenient in that way too.
Yeah, I think the summer courses are I think they're a lot more popular now, or maybe not, but I think those are definitely underrated overall. And like you were saying, it's a good opportunity to get some of your credits in. I wonder if it's difficult to line up semesters with the summer. I mean, line up quarters with the summer semester. If you're a student at, say, any UC besides Cal, and then you want to go to a JC and they're on semesters.
Well, in terms like when school starts and ends, that doesn't overlap. Like I took one summer class just to fulfill a GE credit, and it worked out fine.
Oh, okay.
Nice. Yeah, because I know that summer for semesters usually classes end around May, and I think at Berkeley for sure. I think I ended like May 15th or something, and I started classes immediately on like June 1st or 2nd or something, like super early. So I didn't even get that much of a break in between. So I know that I think quarter system ends what June 12th around that time, like mid June.
Yeah, around then.
So I feel like if you're taking a quarter semester or quarter system school trying to go to a semester class system for the summer, I feel like that might be a little bit more difficult and definitely less of a break because I think you're just going to be going straight into the summer class right when you finish your finals for the quarter system. So I think that's where it gets pretty complicated. But other than that, I think it should be I think just normal and just manageable.
Yeah, it's mostly fine. The only problem is if you want to take like a community college class while you're still in like the main school year, because then it's
Yeah,
hard to work it out because it overlaps with midterms and finals, and I don't know, it could be a mess.
yeah, definitely, definitely. But yeah, I guess moving on, we can go with my week. Yeah, I think the biggest news was I finally passed the SIE, which was huge. That was the
Yeah, congratulations.
biggest. That was the biggest weight on my shoulders, just because again missed the first 2 times by 1%, and there's my brother. But I missed. Yeah, I missed two
What's
the
up,
first two
Ryan?
times by 1%, and then that third time, if I did not pass, I'd have to wait a whole 6 months. So I was just super, again, just relieved and happy I did pass it, and now we're going straight to the grind on the Series 7. So we're got a 500-page book to read and trying to make some progress on it to kind of see
What's
how
up,
we're
Dan?
going. But no, that's my blessing.
Yeah, you guys are in a feedback loop. You might want to like spread out.
And then, yeah, other than the SIE, I think, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm kind of slacking on, I think, like my weekly goals for myself a little bit. I think I also have a bad habit of when I accomplish something that's like really stressful, I kind of give myself like a little bit of leeway or a break for certain things. So I think instead of like reading every night, I ended up just like looking at my phone before going to bed, which was not the greatest thing. Or like again, I'm like, oh, I did all this studying and stuff. I can probably just go ahead and binge watch whatever. So I kind of just, I don't know, give myself a break, which I guess was needed. But at the same time, I probably shouldn't have gone that deep into it. So that's where I feel like I kind of went a little overboard and didn't really keep
Yo,
up with
boys.
my things. I don't know, my brother's always interrupting.
Sorry for the interruption, but it's good to see you, boys. I got a little tired from studying the SIE. So I took a little
Bro.
shower. I stayed for like 2
What
hours.
up, Dan?
My brain was fried. But did you guys go through your weeks already?
Dude, what do you think we're
We're
doing?
going through it right now.
Yeah, we're on Jared right now. I went through mine though.
Jared's, yeah,
Dude, every
Jared's
time,
Just
for
telling
the
us.
OGD viewers out there, every time I get into a conversation, like my brother will never interrupt Michael or Lyndon. Anytime I start talking, just randomly in the middle of something,
So only Lyndon
he'll
went.
just always interrupt.
Michael, you didn't go yet. Only Lyndon went.
Yeah, only Lyndon went so far.
All right, I'm gonna get some pasta real quick while I'm working on that thing. I'll be right back.
Yeah, go ahead. Take your
Okay.
time.
Jared, it's cool
Yeah.
that you're able to recognize that kind of loop that you're getting into, where you accomplish something big and then kind of slip back into the dopamine lull.
Yeah,
But hey, at least you're recognizing it and kind of pinpointing that, not necessarily flaw, but just that cycle that you're doing, and that's the first step in changing is recognizing.
yeah, definitely. Because if I'm gonna be honest with myself, I was telling myself I was gonna get a good grind in this past weekend, and unfortunately, I got like 2 hours per day in for the Series 7. So hopefully I can, get some grinding in for that and try to take that within the next month or so. But, it's also the hardest one out of all three that I need to take. So hopefully I can just pass that one the first time so I don't have to sit through a 3 hour and 45-minute exam multiple times because that's going to be a
I'm
lot.
back. What I
Yeah.
miss?
Yeah, for the viewers out there, we need to emphasize the struggles that this man has gone through and how big of a deal this passing is. Like, huge congratulations to Jared for passing the SIE, man.
Yeah.
269
If
in a
anyone,
row.
yeah, anyone out there, Michael's been the one that's been with me in these sessions, and he knows that I've been going through the grind for the SIE. So I'm trying to put the same time in for the Series 7. So it's been a journey, and luckily I was able to pass that third time. But again, it's a small win, so hopefully I can just take that and ride the momentum and get those next two, knocked out. But yeah,
Remind us what
Oh yeah, go ahead.
remind us what the second one is after Series 7. It's 66, correct?
It's either 66 or 63. Yeah. So after that, I should be able to. Yeah, I think I'll just be fully licensed, which is huge. But that one's just more regulations and just kind of memorizing. I think just like securities acts and stuff like that. So I don't think it should be too difficult. But just like any exam, you can't really take it easy and kind of just gotta just prepare as much as possible and just hopefully just anticipate for what's on the test. But yeah, I mean, I think those coming up is just me staying to the grind and just kind of keeping myself motivated and make sure I don't stray away from the studying by getting distracted with other stuff.
Hey, yo, boys.
What, you got a joke?
Nah, you got any tips when it comes to studying, boys? Hey, I don't wanna keep on reading the freaking material over and over again, and then not doing too hot on the quizzes, because if you keep on reading everything like once or twice, but then you can't really retain all that information. So I read it once, and then I might reread it again, but I don't know. I might just go over some of the questions that go wrong, and then probably try to just read everything once or two more times. But it's kind of difficult when you're just like reading it and then you forget when it comes to the quiz questions after reading all that, excuse my language, bullshit.
Alright, I'm gonna segue this. My brother's repeating himself. Okay, I'm gonna segue this though. An honest question for everyone here: do you think everyone is born smart?
No, I'm stupid.
Hey, Michael, you're about to say something. You're about to say something.
I don't know if everyone's born smart, man. I mean, everyone's born intelligent, right? To some extent, where we all have a brain for the most part.
So my thing is, especially for the viewers out there, we haven't mentioned where we go to school and stuff. I went to Berkeley, and it's obviously very competitive. You know, very cutthroat. Everyone is there's like a couple of people there who are just absolute geniuses. What I'm wondering is one again, like if they're born like that, or if everyone's born intelligent. Two, the way that you kind of studied growing up, or I guess like the way that you're able to retain information growing up. Because I know there's like certain benefits versus like public school versus private school in terms of the quality of education you get. But for me, I always thought that I wasn't smart, but in reality, when you think about it, it comes into in terms of like study habits and the way you study because everyone learns differently too. So like there's this different for me. It's thinking like I thought everyone was really smart, but at the same time, some people just might not be smart. They just know how to study very well. So I feel like there's like a thin line between the two, and it's kind of hard to decipher between which one is kind of correct or not. But for me, I still haven't been able to find both. I feel like I'm not smart, and I still haven't found the best study tools that kind of, meet my personality or meet my standards. But I'm just wondering what you guys kind of think about that question because it's kind of been that's been lingering on my mind for the last couple of years of going through school for sure.
That's a really, really good and debatable question. I like what you said about the difference between public school and private school and your quality of education that you receive as a child, and I'm sure that definitely emulates itself as you grow older and when you're in college, and kind of how well you're able to retain new information. But yeah, so I guess your environment also plays a really big factor versus like how you're born.
Mm.
Like maybe everyone kind of starts out with an innate ability to develop a certain way, but depending on how they're raised and what quality of education they receive, that's going to determine how they end up.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be honest with you guys. I feel like my like raw intelligence it peaked at middle school. Is I remember like being able to perfectly recall everything that happened in the classroom for like a 2 week period. Like not just what the teacher said, but every like side conversation going on. I can remember it like word for word. It's like my raw
Yeah.
memorization power was way
It's
better in
crazy.
middle school. It's like even if the concepts were simpler, it didn't really matter as long as I knew what exactly word for word the teachers were saying.
Mm.
So
I
That's an
for,
think
interesting point. Like
mm,
people will say that you're able to learn languages
when you're
better
young.
when you're younger, kind of like others, maybe like other species in a way, like dogs, for example. You can that saying, it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah. I think I don't know. It's definitely when you're younger, it's easier to learn stuff. 'Cause I think like the developmental age of
Oops.
learning new things was like 3 to 5 or something like that, or 3 to 8. So I think if you're doing certain things from that age point, I think things become a little easier. Like comprehension skills, I know that that's something that definitely around that age time, if you're like reading books and stuff, that's gonna help you down the long run. I know for me, definitely like video games growing up, that was not helpful for me at all. The funniest thing is I used to be like so addicted to that stuff from like 8 years old until 12 years old. And then the funniest thing is like when I literally stopped doing that so much, like my tennis and academics got so much better, which is funny. But I don't know, it's just looking back at like, my whole education, like I feel like things were fine until like middle school and then high school is when things kind of got a little bit iffy, kind of not like to the point where I wasn't really, I don't think like progressing per se. Um, but yeah, like when Lennon said he peaked in middle school, I still feel like I never peaked. I feel like I
that
was,
just means you're still growing.
I feel like I was just average throughout and kind of just, I don't know, just like try to work as hard as possible. But I think also saying that is definitely lying to myself a little bit because I think I was also a procrastinator. I was like a master procrastinator, but I feel like I'd tell myself I'm studying all these hours, and when in reality, I think I was distracted more than half the time. Looking back at it, it's good to obviously see that I was doing that. And I can finally admit that to myself. Just, a good step to hopefully change that, even though I am still going through that now. But yeah, I don't know. Just it's weird to kind of just think about, or like wonder how these people who are so good in school or just so good at learning things, like how they grew up, or I guess if they're just born like that. Because I know some people who are definitely just born like that. They don't have to do any effort, just go into a test or go into a class and just understand everything the first time. Whereas there's like someone else like me who has to like read it or look at it multiple times just to understand the basics of it. So I think it's something that's definitely been kind of on my mind throughout the years, and just looking at other people and how they kind of just go through school and life, I guess.
To take it one level of depth deeper, do you think that our school system, middle school, high school, college, does a does a good job in measuring someone's how smart someone is or how intelligent they are? Does someone's performance in school kind of equal how just overall intelligent they are as a person?
No, I don't think so. There's also been something difference between like book smart, street smart, and other smarts. Like you don't have to just be book smart to be successful. There's tons of successful people out there who probably were not the best in school. And again, just because you don't do well in school doesn't mean that you won't be successful later on in life. It's just you just have to find your nick for something. If you can't be forced to do something, just expect even those who are smart per se, like quote unquote smart, they're not always successful either. It's kind of just again finding something you're good at, sticking with it, and developing the skills that you're good at, and not really just worrying about what other people kind of want you to go down. Because again, school is just that basic safe path that every parent kind of wants their child to go down, and I feel like I mean, yeah, definitely it's safe. Like if you graduate, your odds of getting a job are a lot higher. You're obviously educated and blah blah blah, all the usual stuff. But again, I think it's just I don't think it's like a gauge of intelligence because again, there's probably still people who do go to school who are not smart, and then just people who are smart that don't go to school. So I mean, I'm kind of like looping it around, but that's kind of just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I feel like there's no good way to measure intelligence, especially when you can't define intelligence. Like Jared, you're breaking it down to like street smart and book smart. But even then,
Mhm.
there's more as like emotional intelligence, problem solving, stuff like that. And like
Yeah,
to
personality, stuff like that. A lot of factors in how successful you can be at something. And again, I think we're told that if you're successful in school, you'll be successful in life. That's just not the case. And I think that's just kind of what we've been told growing up. And that's just why it's gotten so competitive, and why so many kids kind of just stressed out in high school just to get into the best colleges. And when they do get there, they just realize it's not everything that they kind of anticipated it to be. Um, but yeah, it's just this stigma of just again, if you're intelligent in school, you're gonna be like very successful. Just again, not the case. So
yeah, and I
sorry.
feel like there's a
That's
lot
a
of redundancies. Like high school is to prepare you for college, but then in college you have GEs, which are just to prepare you for upper division classes. And I feel like GEs are just a sort of repeating high school while just
Yeah,
giving you more options just to choose from.
that's a really good point, both of you that you're bringing up, and kind of circling back to your original question, Jared, of is are people born smart? Maybe the people that you're talking about in school that just do extremely well are just better at doing well in school, and that's just it. They're not necessarily smarter. They're just better at taking tests or they retain information better.
yeah, yeah. I would want to go down this path more, but I also do want to keep the podcast rolling. But yeah, I mean, back to my week. That was kind of just the biggest thing, and yeah, I need to get back on track with my weekly goals, and hopefully have a better update for you guys on that end next week. But that's me.
And real quick,
Killer update, man.
what are your weekly goals for next time?
Hopefully this week I can catch 8 hours of sleep. Hopefully
Always
I can
important.
still read at night. I don't know about tonight, but we will try to get that in throughout the week and try to get a better reading schedule going and try to again cut out the phone. That's the real goal, and I still feel like I'm still looking at that thing so much. It's just a habit to just I don't know, I just unconsciously want to go to it. So I got to somehow find something that gives me that same sort of satisfaction, but just substitute it with some other form of something that just gives me the same, effect. So I got to just try to do that and cut it out. But yeah, hopefully I have a better update for you guys next week, and we'll go from there.
Good stuff, dude. I'll go really quickly next. My week was pretty good. Some news for everyone. Well, for all of us, we premiered our first OGD episode earlier this week, which was awesome. It was a good start, and having that uploaded was really nice. Kind of seeing our efforts come to fruition a little bit, and then we premiered our second episode yesterday. So that one's off to a pretty good start too. I I started getting involved in a few clubs, and I've been talking about that a little bit over the course of these talks. But an update for you all for this week is that I was successful in getting the position that I ran for, which was community service representative for my honor society. Thank you. That one's for the honor society that I'm in called Alpha Gamma Sigma, and it was my first time doing that, kind of going through that process of running for a position, let alone doing it remotely and on Zoom and in front of everyone on a computer. So that was interesting. And I attended a few meetings for my other clubs, which are a Filipino cultural club called Kababayan Kabigan. That's been really fun. We had a little movie night social on Saturday night. And then I attended my second meeting for the Women of Color Association that we have on campus. And that one's been really good, we talked about Black History Month last week, and I got a lot of new information about certain women and kind of the advocacy that they've had for African Americans and just people of color. And then I also attended a meeting for Phi Beta Lambda, which is our business fraternity on campus, and that one was kind of intimidating. Everyone on that Zoom is just dressed up in blazers and ties, and it was fun seeing everybody just kind of suited and booted for the meeting. And then the last club that I attended was DVC Toastmasters. A little interesting fact about Toastmasters is that our DVC branch is the only branch of Toastmasters hosted by a community college. So that's a really cool thing to be a part of, and that club's all about improving public speaking. So yeah, just a good full week of kind of campus involvement and getting a little deeper into my academics beyond the grades. But that's gonna do it for my week. My weekly recap.
Viewers out there, if you haven't realized by now, Michael's a busy guy. Damn, good stuff.
I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying.
Good stuff. I like it. Yeah, some of my brothers can go since they joined.
This is kind of off topic, boys, but my actually just kind of have to do something with my week, but it's something with ice cream.
Did you make ice cream?
You guys ever heard of this place called Lappert's Ice Cream?
No, not.
Oh dang! I just heard of it a couple days ago. I want to end up eating that good ice cream, but I'm on a freaking diet. It's like a Hawaiian ice cream. They got like Kona chocolate chip ice cream, white macadamia nut ice cream. They got all these amazing flavors, boys, that I'm dying to try.
That sounds so good.
That
sounds so good, dude.
And then they have some other tropical ice creams. So it's like,
Michael, if you're willing to go get it, you can drive to Sausalito.
Oh, it's out in Sausalito?
Yeah, it's like 15 minutes from our house, but from you guys, like 45 minutes or something like that, right?
Dude, don't give your address away.
I know, y'all are doxing it.
But they have some pretty bomb ass ice cream. So I would drive the 15 minutes, but like I said, I'm trying to eat healthier, but I might break it at some point. So that's the bad side, boys. Ice cream is my weak point.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Go get it right now. It's so close, dude.
Yeah, only like 15-minute drive.
They've been talking about it all week. Like, I swear to God.
Get it.
Honestly, I've been kind of craving ice cream too.
Have like I'm probably gonna pull up the menu later, but they have like different flavors. Like I said, the Kona chocolate chip. They have the Kahlua pie ice cream, which freaking like looks so amazing, boys. I'm like, dang. I know my brothers would eat most of the ice cream of my parents, but for me, no, no, no.
Hey,
Do
Lyndon.
they?
Yeah.
Speaking of ice cream, have you tried Davis Creamery in Davis?
Yep.
Bruh, that shit's bomb. That's fire.
Yeah. There's also this like small other creamy places with unique flavors. One of them's like some flour thing.
Have you tried? I think
Oh.
it's the shave ice. The shave ice cream thing. Have you tried that one? I forgot what it's called, but there's a.
We're getting off
No.
topic.
Dude, shave
But yeah,
ice is
ice
underrated.
cream is good. Shave ice.
Dave-
Hello, hello. All good. Yep.
Yes, hello, hello. Hey, who's had Holo Holo? Does that Lampert's place in Sausalito have Holo Holo?
No, I don't think so.
I think they have shave ice, but they have the Hawaiian ice cream shave ice, and they have like Hawaiian coffee.
Yeah, we're giving out free publicity right now, boys. Where's the sponsor? We need the sponsorship.
Dumbass boys.
Have any of you guys had Holo Holo?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Heck yeah, definitely.
I don't
Yeah.
like the
And
bean
the-
shit in there.
I'm not a big fan of the jelly and the beans in that Holo Holo, boys. Makes me kind of sick in my stomach when I'm done eating that shit.
It takes a mature palate to understand and appreciate the flavors of a Holo Holo.
Dude, like when I first had a halo halo, I must have been like in elementary school, and I was kind of confused by it because I mixed the shaved ice with like the ice cream and made like it would like mix in a bad way.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't
I like
might have
the
been
ube. The
What was
ube
that?
Ice cream. I only like the ube ice cream. That's it. On top.
Basic, bro. Basic. It's the beans for me.
I hate
I like the
ube.
jelly stuff, dude. Jelly stuff is good. I
yeah,
like it.
jelly's good.
But yeah, back to my brothers. I guess they can provide their updates because I think we're nearing the cutoff soon.
All right,
Just
my
one-
week. So far so good. I got a lot of pumping in at the gym, getting my body chiseled, trying to. And then I've been playing tennis a lot, gym a lot, studying for the SIE a lot. And then on the job update, I applied to a high school counselor position. I'm Roman Catholic. Hopefully they contact me within next week. They emailed me that they might contact me for that position. And then I have a job interview tomorrow at 3:30 for another job, so hopefully that interview goes well. And that's how my week is. So I got prepared for my interview, like dress up and just hope for the best tomorrow.
Dude, good luck.
Oh, thanks, boy.
Are you gonna wear a suit to your interview?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna dress up a little bit, and then because they said it's not like they didn't say anything about dressing up, but I'm gonna like dress up in a nice shirt, and then I think the requirements are just like pretty simple, just like bachelor's degree, and like one experience of whatever, which I have both. So hopefully, besides that, the interview goes well because I have the
Is it
requirements already.
over Zoom?
Yeah, it's over Zoom.
Nice. Do that pull that Ron Burgundy move and just hit the suit up top and then the
Hey,
underwear on the
You
bottom.
know the one thing my brother needs to work on for his interviews? His freaking answers to his
Bro,
questions.
The
He doesn't
interviews
really do
are-
interviews that well, so he needs to work on his interview
No, dude,
skills a little
Dude,
bit.
just swap in for him.
And he's
Thank you. Thank you. Sign me up, bro.
like, a lot
It's like,
of-
oops, my camera died. 1 second. You know?
I don't know, like to be
Switch
honest, like these interviews I'm going through, it gives me like more like experience, like going through these interviews. So like, I've been through like 5 or 6 interviews so far. And there's like many applicants who applied to the job, like during this pandemic. But like, even though I'm not getting these positions right now, I'm getting experience with going through each job and each interview. So it gives me more confidence and more like in myself to nail the interview and I might get a job in the future. So the interviews are giving me more like experience, even though I'm not getting some of them right now.
That's such a good attitude to have, man. And you're totally right. You're kind of just sharpening yourself every time you go through that process, and I'm sure you just become more comfortable every time you have each interview.
Yeah, like tomorrow I'm not even nervous. Like I already know what they're gonna ask me, like all my background, my job experience, all questions. So like I'm feeling pretty confident tomorrow. I already know what to expect in that interview now. 'Cause I've been through so many.
I'm sure that's a little hurdle that a lot of people face is right after college, they're not exactly prepared to go through those trials, and they're not prepared to go through the interview process. They've just studied for so long, and they haven't been actually working and applying those in a practical way. So kudos for you, dude, for just keeping up and putting yourself out there.
Yeah, I'll land something eventually, boys.
All right, guess my other brother should go.
My week was pretty good. I went to the gym, pumped some good iron, jumped. I've been raising up the jump rope lately, so I've been doing jump rope 3 times a week, jumping rope for about 2 days, 45 minutes, and then the third day for an hour. So I've been taking breaks. But the benefit from jumping rope, boys. Guess what the benefit from jumping rope is?
What is it?
My legs are getting jacked, boys. My legs
Dude,
are
let me
getting
see.
big. Like I'm just walking, I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like trying to get some bumps on my leg, so I'm trying to get a little bit
Bro.
bumpy on the back. But
Can we get a little calf flash for the viewers?
bro, right now I'll show in the future episodes when I get them more defined. But jumping rope is jumping rope is pretty good. But I'm getting tired some days jumping rope because I feel like my legs aren't given. So, um, but that's been good. Just
Hey, one more thing. You know, besides since he's talking about leg getting defined, what I do is I jump rope twice a week, and then on my off days, you know our big ass hill when you drive up it.
Yeah. Just
Bro,
dox yourself
every,
further.
yeah, bro. Every every day I walk my dog and I walk up that huge hill every day. That gives my legs hella rip.
All right, I'll tell you what. At 50 subscribers, I'll match Ryan's calf show off, and I'll show off my leg too. I don't have gains, but you guys can see my tattoos and stuff. We'll do a little show and tell for the 50 sub.
Oh, and my
count.
pecs hurt.
but other than that, boys, nothing new. Just been ramping up a little bit the SIE studying. So I'm taking my exam a couple of months, but like I said, the reading is kind of getting. I don't want to say boring, but tiring. Since I'm almost done reading all the chapters once, but I'm probably gonna have to read them again 1 or 2 more times and just go over um, my quiz notes before I take the simulated exam and then the guaranteed and readiness exam. So I don't know how those will go, boys, since those questions might be a little bit tougher. Um, and then that's it. But the main the main thing that I really did was that got me drawn into something was this Lappert's ice cream, boys. I'm looking at their menu right now while talking. Doesn't this sound good, boys? What's this one? They
Okay,
have
we're not going back to the ice cream.
horchata. The horchata.
Yeah, we're done.
It's a rice
Hey,
ice cream with a Mexican style caramel swirl. Damn, boy.
Okay, Michael, what are you gonna say?
That's some good shit right there.
I kind of wanted to talk about what Ryan was discussing a little earlier in the talk about his kind of comprehension and difficulty, kind of taking in the content. Are you taking notes while you're reading, Ryan, or are you just reading through it straight?
Bruh,
I'm highlighting the key sections that I'm gonna have to go back and I don't really understand. So they have like a highlighter link in the art in the readings, but I'm doing a lot of highlighting and going back. But I'm reading it once or twice, and then I still forget after a while since I'm reading other chapters. So I wonder if you boys got any advice on that, like
Hey, I got some
retain that,
advice.
how to retain that information or try to get that stuck in your head.
Hey, I got some advice for you, boy. And I'm taking my test next month. Next month in April, which is coming up. So I'm taking my test before Ryan. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm taking my test.
And you're gonna fail, boy.
No, I got a
No.
solution. This my test is coming up in 6 weeks.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I think my test is coming up in 8 weeks. I don't know, like 60 days, but it's coming up pretty quickly. I'm taking it April 28th, so it's coming up. But besides advice, what I do is I read the chapter and I take notes. Like, if you see my paper,
Yeah?
I have hella shit on it. So I'm taking a lot of notes. You see that? Like, good handwriting.
Sure.
I
Okay.
got all these notes, so what I do is take notes, and it gets better in my head, and I study it, and I'm passing all these quizzes.
Does the notes help you retain that? Like, are you taking notes as you're reading each chapter the first time, or are you kind of like going back and then taking notes, or how are you doing it?
I'm reading the passages and then writing the important stuff in the passages. So I'm reading and then picking out the important information and writing it on my notepad. And then when I'm done reading the chapters, I read my notes the next day, all chapters, and take quizzes the next day. And I'm passing them, boys.
That sounds really extensive, but I mean,
But
it sounds
my
like it's
hand
working
hurts.
for you.
Yeah, my hand hurts like a bitch because I'm writing so much.
What do you think about that, Ryan? Like you said, you're doing the highlighting. I think that's really solid too, because you're like, okay, this passage in particular kind of gave me some difficulty, and you're able to go back and check it out after you've read it once over. Are you taking any form of notes though outside of the highlighting?
And I'm just doing the highlighting, and then after each quiz, the explanations are kind of helping me, so I'm getting a better understanding. When I'm reading that, it's making it a little bit easier because those are some things I forget in the reading. It's just a refresher for me to remember what are the key points that I missed or I understood and can get better at. So that strategy's working for me, but it's just a lot of explanations and just looking over the material over and over again. But I kind of get off track after a while. After an hour and a half, I end up taking a break, and then I end up going on my phone for a while and watching YouTube or whatever. So kind of struggling with the study because I it's kind of hard to get back into the grind, boys.
Hey, last point on the SIE. I think it brings me back to my old college days. It's like doing homework and stuff for tests like you're in college again. It's like you're back in college doing the SIE, which I hate. It's like homework in school again, all over again. It's like I'm back in school, but I'm actually not.
Yo, boys, I'm gonna literally want to drive to Lappert's ice cream right now. I want that shit so bad, boys.
All right.
Get that out of my head.
Okay. I guess
Hey,
at that
wait.
point,
I think
do we have any closing comments we want to say?
Bro,
Before we go back,
one last
into
one.
the
Nah, just let him get his ice cream. Go ahead and close it out, Jared.
All
All right. Remember, guys, it's never too late to start somewhere. Just get up and go.
What the